Hey, very good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the live trading webinar with myself, Giles Coughlin. Okay, folks, maybe a bit quieter today. We've got Paul away. All right, folks. So what we're looking for today is something in line with this sell pressure that's come on. So let's have a look at how markets are reacting. So as we come to the session, we've got a risk-off environment. You can see that volatility is higher. US equity futures are lower. Euro Stoxx, China 50, FTSE, DAX, all lower across the board. And the reason for that is there isn't like one specific reason per se. It's being touted as a little bit of pessimism about the EU defence spending, that it's going to take some time for it to be 1.5% of the GDP. There's concerns about the April the 2nd tariffs. That's just 10 plus days away. That's still on track, and that's weighing on sentiment. The general sort of political uncertainty around tariffs is just sort of lingering. Now, yesterday on the Fed's decision, we saw stocks rise. Now, initially, that was just as the dot plot was digested. The GDP was revised lower, so that's a concern to me. At 1.7 from 2.1 in December, the Fed now see a slowing US economy. And what they did is they slowed down their quantitative tightening program. Now, the quantitative tightening program is just reversing the QE program. So when you do QT, it makes you more restrictive. So what they did, they said, we're slowing that down while the uncertainty is going on. That temporarily lifted stocks. But look, inflation revised higher, headline to 2.7, the core to 2.8. They expect it to be the same in 2026, 2027. So in the near term, they see short-term inflation pressures, slowing growth, and a weaker labour market with unemployment expected to move up to 4.4%. Interest rate expectations, look, they see 2 cuts this year, they see 3.4% next year and 3.1 the year after. So they are expecting easier monetary conditions. So the dot plot unchanged, inflation revised higher, unemployment revised higher, and growth revised lower. So that is a kind of like stagflationary kind of outlook. Now it's not, of course, we're not in stagflation yet, but that is where it is. So I'm not surprised that markets couldn't rally very high on that. And if we look at the S&P 500 in terms of where we are technically, you can just see we moved up into this technical resistance area around the 5,600, and we've moved up to that swing point. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. So it's a key area that we're starting to develop. A lot of risk sentiment has started the day negative. So with that, let's have a quick look around other markets. VIX just pushing higher, still under 23, but pushing higher. You can see that commodities, gold, silver continue to rip higher on sort of geopolitical concerns. The dollar pushing a little bit higher. There just wasn't anything fresh from the Fed to make it lower. So a bit of a pullback is necessary. And then you can see that there's a bid into the bond market showing sort of a general risk-off sentiment. And there's just expectations that, the Fed may be more likely to cut interest rates, lower interest rates anticipated, plus risk-off bid into bonds. So that's where we're at. In terms of the rhythm for the day, we are clearly trending significantly lower. I was trading this morning and the sentiment changed, traded it just against this level, seeing these buyers getting trapped, giving me confidence. Here you can see on the 15-minute, sellers trapping buyers up against that level on volume, pullback, sell-off, right? Similarly, in the 5-minute chart, you can see exactly the same kind of dynamic going on. Just happy to get in here at any price because I was looking for more selling. And you can see here, sellers there trapping all these buyers up against that value area and then selling more intensely into that area there, just taking profit for a quick move, right? So what I'm looking for now, you can notice we had a fast trend to start the session. And now we're in sort of a bit more of a ranging kind of situation, but we'd favor sellers over buyers for now because the trend is clearly lower. But there's definitely been a bit of a a change since 11 a.m. UK time. So we're just looking at a bit of a range bound scenario. In terms of the value areas, we've got this sort of value area low here and this value area high here. So we're in this kind of value area zone. So this is an important area. And if we sort of break down through this to the downside, then we could look for a run back down to 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would be if we can break down through these lows here. So that's a clear area. We're at the first standard deviation for now. So that's something to be looking at as we come into the session very, very carefully. Looking at the hourly chart, we can see here we've got some big sellers that could potentially come in here against the 5695. Now the difficulty with this level is the value area high. So when the value area high from last week, so it's difficult to want to re-short in this area. We'd have to sort of see it really definitely going through, and then maybe we can go down to the 5660. We can see quite much more advantageous to be selling from that 5710, 5721. You see that value area high. That's also a very important area if we can push above that and start moving higher. So I think there's two-way opportunities here. Looking at the inventory, the inventory is negative from the Globex Open. So inventory is negative for the day. Sentiment is clearly weaker and the trend is down, but nevertheless, we want to trade what we see. We want to look for opportunities as they arise. Now, looking on the 15-minute chart, we can see here, this is going to be an important area to see if we go under that area there. In fact, I'll be looking at this now because I might enter a potential short just on that. I'm going to enter a short on that because there's just a bit of volume coming in here. And I'm happy to be short just on that little area. See if we can push through. And you can see here on the 5-minute, you've got those buyers, right, getting trapped now. So ideally, seeing them trapped is ideal. You look on the 15, you've got these buyers being trapped. Now I have to be careful because of this area on the hourly chart, right? This big sort of support area. And we've pushed into it once, right, and had a rejection off it. But just got to be careful that that could easily provide a decent bit of support at the open. So it's going to be looking at that. I just want to see how we close on the 15-minute. Do we get a close underneath? If we get close underneath, then it's likely we're going to have a bit of a run lower. You can see volume starting to build in there. Look, quite a lot of volume. It's like the market wants to take it lower. So a quick look on the 5. We haven't quite had a breakdown through that level yet, but we had an attempt at it. Let's have a look on the 1. We've had a couple of, there we go. Yeah, we've had a couple of attempts at that. Let's have a look. That's a little push higher on that. So just keep an eye on that as we come into the, hey Nejam, good to see you, mate. Just been doing the summary of how things are. Basically, sentiment is off. There isn't any particular driver. I've entered a predictive short just ahead of the US Open, trying to see if these 15-minute guys get trapped. If they don't get trapped, I'll just step away. But I like the volume coming here on this. See volume breaking out, key area. It'll be a decent area for potential shorts. I'm hoping to see people trapped on the 5-minute is what I want to see. And you can see a bit of volume starting to build here. I haven't got that convincing break yet, but on the 1-minute, I've got some sort of a bit more convincing bit of volume underneath that level. So we'll see, but I'm looking for sellers to come in up against that level. The problem with it is that obviously it's a value area high from a previous week. So we've had a test of it already, so I'll just keep a tight rein on it, but we'll see how we go. Oh, it would help if I enabled the chat, wouldn't it? That's my bad. Sorry, folks. Right, chat's enabled. Hey, Najam. Hey, Brett. Sorry about that. Let's get him out of the way. Okay. Yeah. You can listen, but you can't speak. That's about right for the Chinese government, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here's a little test of that breakout thesis. I'll give it another minute, but I don't think I'm going to get that. Just see if I come back into that range or not. Right, I'm out of that. All right. Let's see what the open has. I don't want to be holding on to that because I'm quite happy to sell from these higher levels, and that's potentially nice for shorting on later anyway, because you got those trap buyers potentially if we move up. Let's see. If we close under there on the 5, I can re-enter, so we'll take it from there. So today I'm plus 3 and a bit grand. Difficult trying to get this 20,000 profit target. So that makes it a little bit trickier. Yeah, I'm having to be much more aggressive. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, that's what happened. Okay, so the rundown for today, it is super hard. I know, I maybe foolishly went into it too quickly. March the 20th, here we are. And what we're looking for today was sentiment was very weak to start the session. So in the European morning session, just selling that negative risk off sentiment, taking other shorts just as we got a slight pullback, hitting the value area. And then just as we came into the US Open, just seeing this structure breaking down underneath these trap buyers, pushing lower, took some shorts into the US Open, then got a bit greedy thinking, oh, perhaps I can keep going down to the 5, 6, 7 region. Price snapped up higher, and as it snapped higher, once I saw these buyers trapping these sellers, happened into candle, and with the confirmation just went long, knowing that all the shorts were trapped, double bottom. So it looked very likely that we're going to break out of this area here, hit to the next value area, took profit there. Then we had a breakout of this double bottom structure above the VWAP. So again, went long, taking profit up into those areas. Then I had a lot of itty bitty trading, trying to guess where the top was, which was a mistake, and took a lot of little tiny nibbles, feeling flush with plenty in my pocket for the day, and sort of just eked away. Then took some attempt at a long with those buyers trapping those sellers. Stops just the other side of this structure, moved up, went lower. Great move from Anthony, who took 2 excellent shorts today. Well done. And Najam with him as well. So very good trading from you both. And they were short when I was trying to force longs. They were going short very sensibly. Good news is I managed to get in short as well as that thesis broke down. So entering shorts as we broke down through these areas here, and entering shorts again as stops were hit, moving just down to this area here, ultimately trying to target the VWAP. With it being very sensitive and itty bitty, just took profit off of there to the end of the day. So plus 3,200 on that account today, but tricky trading really. All right, folks, I will see you tomorrow. It is great job, everyone. Some very good trading today, and wasn't easy to conditions. Look forward to seeing you guys. Bye for now.